Hey guys, we're going to talk a little bit about the hypocrisy that a lot of us get caught in when people try to hold us accountable when I return on the Eric McNeil Be Free Show.
Black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
Hey guys, welcome back. If this is your first time joining us, then you've just discovered the Eric McNeil Be Free Show, where we talk about being financially independent, responsible for self, enjoying life, and empowering others free. So today, I just want to talk to you a little bit about something that I see happening in our community often, and I'm sure you know it happens in all communities, but I'm just talking about our community right now. So, as some of you know, that on my previous video, I made a video about the thing that I hate most, you know, that I can't tolerate in the village, and that was the making of charcoal. But anyway, a lot of people felt that, oh, I'm intruding, and oh, I'm a Westerner, oh, and you know, I should get out of their way and leave them alone. They've been doing this, just all kind of naive, immature comments, you know. Oh, that's why people don't like Amerikkans and spelling America with the KKK. You know how they do it, just immature. So let's talk about that. Now, here's the thing. A lot of these same people will sit there and moan and groan about the churches making too much noise at night when you're trying to sleep and things like that. And they have no problem with the government or with laws being passed to restrict those churches, right? You know, noise restrictions, because it affects everybody. And so now when there's something like this where I say, okay, the burning of, you know, this making charcoal, not only is that a nuisance, but it goes beyond being a nuisance, right? The church making a lot of noise just amounts to a nuisance, you know, but this goes beyond being a nuisance, because you're burning charcoal, making, you know, all the smoke coming up, but that smoke is destroying the environment, it's destroying the people who are making the charcoal, destroying their health, and it's destroying other people too, such as myself, when I'm inhaling this smoke, right? You can't get around that, right? Because that's why they don't use this charcoal, I mean, these smoke burning stoves in the West that much anymore, right? Because they're toxic, right? You can't inhale all that smoke and not expect to come out with cancer, right? And these people in this bush burning, they might be younger than me, but they look twice my age in this stuff. And so yeah, it is a nuisance. And so here's the thing. When I came here, they used to go up into the bush, but they couldn't stay that long because they didn't really have the facilities here. There was nothing here but trees and bush, so it was a much more difficult process to get the coals. And a lot of people who would sit there and say, well, this Westerner coming over there, and that's what you guys do, it's got to be your way out of highway, and you're trying to do this and trying to do that to them, and you're destroying their way of life. They've been doing this forever and for hundreds of years. And so my reply is that I understand that they've been doing this a long time. I understand that this is a way of life for people. It produces income. It's a full-time job for some people. They're right. But that by no way does that make it right. Okay? It doesn't make it right just because they've been doing it for a long time. And if that was the case, then I could make the argument that we should have left slavery alone because they've been doing it for a long time. Hey, why y'all want to stop slavery? That's them people's way of life. They've been enslaving people for hundreds and thousands of years. We should not try and stop that. You see that? You see how silly that sounds? And this is the hypocrisy that we get caught up into when we're trying to justify foolishness, right? I'm not about trying to just justify something that I know is wrong. I just want to get to, okay, what's the right thing to do? And even here, with the people that we're talking about, like, it wasn't a case where I was just trying to stop them from burning, right? My suggestion to the chief was to have the workers shift over, right? To shift about, it can't be no more than 300 feet, less than 300 feet move, because you would be moving beyond the house. So it wasn't a matter of just having them stop and ruining their livelihood, right? I mean, I know the people and communicated the same thing to the workers myself, right? So without me here, they would have a much more difficult time, you see? I mean, even right here, like right behind me, you see this bag? This is one of the bags of charcoal, right? So my house is the staging ground for everything around here. So if I was just some asshole and wanted to make things difficult for people, then I wouldn't allow nobody on the property. I wouldn't allow nobody. When it rains here, like the rainy season and the rain just comes down. Well, what do you think if I wasn't here? Where would those people go? Okay, they wouldn't have anywhere to shelter, right? But I'll tell you where they do come to shelter. They come to shelter under my veranda, right? That's where they come and find shelter when it's raining here. So it's because I'm here that they're able to actually maneuver around and have a less difficult time trying to burn the charcoal or trying to do anything back here, right? Like right here, you see these poly tanks, these 2 poly tanks? Now, you're talking about, oh, the Westerners come and do this. Well, let me tell you something. It is mostly the Ghanaians who told me, Eric, put locks on your poly tanks. Put locks on your poly tanks. They will come. They will come. And I've been here for years, but I have resisted doing that, right? Because I did not want to take that away from them, because I know everybody who comes through here relies on me for water. So I allowed them to continue to have access to water free of charge, right? And they bring buckets here to get water, filtered water or unfiltered water. Neither one of them has a poly tank lock on it, on the tab, right? So they're able to get that, right? So if I was some type of person that you're talking about, this Westerner here, and he's doing this and doing that, then I wouldn't allow that. I would have been locked those poly tanks, right? Because the Ghanaian friends told me to do it. They're like, hey, put you some locks on your poly tanks so they can't use them. You see? So, like I was saying, I'm not just saying stop cold turkey. Just boom, stop. You can't do it anymore. And basically, like I said, what I was saying is that I would at least expect you to shift down, shift down a few hundred feet. Come to me if you have a landowner here. This person is the only person in the area that owns a house, and this is the person that has established the area at least have the decency and the courtesy to come to me and say, listen, Eric, I know, we need to do some burning. They need to burn this charcoal. What's the best place we can do this without being a nuisance to you or disturbing you? And then, we pick out a spot that is conducive for me living here, and it helps you to accomplish what you need to accomplish. That's how you get things done. But we have to begin showing a bit of respect for one another. I mean, that's the least we can do. If we expect to progress as a people, then we have to have some respect for one another. Somebody reached out to me when I started talking about the sustainable community that we would soon be working on, and they said, well, are you going to have covenants? I say, yeah, I will have covenants. They said, well, I don't want to live in an area anymore with covenants and homeowners association and this and that. I said, well, I really, don't want to live in an area with a group of people without covenants. I won't do it. So if you move with Eric, come with us, when we get ready to do this sustainable community, you best believe it's going to be some covenants. You will not just be back there doing what you want to, how you want to. We're going to all have to get along, and covenants is an important part of that, I believe. So they are leaving now. So they are leaving, and we are back. They will be back tomorrow. So we will have them tomorrow. But yeah, that's the workers. They are maybe about let's see if I can come back here. Yeah, so that was the workers. It's maybe about 10 of them. Parents, children, all of them. So anyway. So I think, we get a little naive about things, and that we know is wrong. There's no way you can justify them, burning coal just because they're doing it on their land. That doesn't matter just because it's on their land. It affects everyone. That's why they have, municipalities have laws and rules against burning wood and making charcoal like that, right? There's laws here against it. They're not enforced, but it's still laws against it, right? And it doesn't matter whether you're doing it on your property, right? If you on your property playing your radio at as high as it can go during the night, do you think you can make an argument? Oh, it's on my property. I play it on radio. It's on my property. No. Why? Because it affects everybody around you. It doesn't matter whether it's on your property or not, right? Come on. We have to use our senses when we are actually talking about things like this, right? I mean, we get so emotional when it comes to having discussions about things that we know we're doing wrong. And we know that this is something that's wrong, but we get so emotional about it because it's affecting our people, right? Like we can't criticize. So when you see me making a video and I'm saying this is what's wrong, it doesn't mean that I dislike Ghana. Doesn't mean I dislike Africa. When I'm trying to, if I disliked it, I wouldn't give a damn. I wouldn't be here, right? I wouldn't sunk hundreds of thousands of dollars into this local economy. I wouldn't have helped all the people around me that I've helped and assisted, right, if I didn't care. But it's because I do care is why I'm criticizing, right? It's because I am concerned about it. Like when you go into a place and somebody sells you a property or leases you a property, then there's a standard that you expect. doesn't even have to be written down. There's a standard, right? So when I purchased this property and got the lease on this land, then there's a standard I expect that the lessor upholds. Do you get it? There's a standard. So, you know, if I lease somebody my home, then I can't be, they would expect that they're going to have some peace and enjoyment. I lease you my home, and then at 12 a.m. at night, I'm out in the damn front yard with a karaoke machine, blasting away, singing some songs. What would you say? Right? And say, hey, you know, that's just my culture. That's been my culture. No. Once somebody gives you their money for something like a property, then you should know there are some standards you need to uphold, my friend. Simple as that. Otherwise, don't take their money. Don't invite them in. Say, you know, well, we like to do it like this here, you know, so we ain't gonna take your money. But yeah, so anyway, we have to begin holding ourselves accountable. And it's only when we begin holding ourselves accountable that we're going to get better. That's how I have always gotten better, when somebody has held me accountable and given me some constructive criticism, right? So when you hear me talking, it's not that because I don't want you to appreciate what Gunner has to offer. You can get a lot of the good that you hear from Gunner, but you have to be foolish to just think that there's, you know, no problems here. I'm trying to prepare you so that you know what the problems are, so that you don't get duped or scammed, so that you can come here and live your best life possible. That's what I'm trying to prepare you for. But the constructive criticisms are just that. It's so that we can uplift ourselves and deal with the problems that we have. When I was growing up, I was a bad child. I tell you, make no doubt about it. I was a problem child. And it was people in like my middle school, teachers. I remember like Mr. Dillard, who was over the band, and then when I got to high school, like Mr. Howard, you know, these was teachers, boy, who used to wear me. They'd be like, Eric McNeil, boy, and they'd be throwing chalk at you and all kind of things, paddle you, boy, and they'd be like, boy, you can do better, you can do better. And right, it was a lot of criticism. And so I caught holy hell from some of these teachers, but they didn't do it because they didn't want me to succeed. They didn't do it because they wanted to destroy me. They did it because they wanted me to be better, and they believed that I could be better and that I had the capacity to do better. So when I come and I criticize certain things, is not because I dislike this place or I dislike the people or I don't want them to do anything and trying to keep them. No, it's exactly the opposite, because I do recognize the potential in Ghana and in Africa, and I see that potential, and I want us to do better as a people. In order for us to do better, we're going to have to begin holding ourselves accountable. And yes, some people mention that it's going to require education and finding affordable alternatives, and they're absolutely right. I'm a patient person, right? I've been here for years, so being involved in education is what I have done for years here and before here. So I understand that wholeheartedly. But when you hear me talking about some of the issues here, please believe and trust that I'm also working on solutions, my friend. You can best believe that. But by the same token, we can't just bury our heads in the sand and pretend that these issues don't exist, because they do. There are problems here that we need to tune into And we need to start working on solutions to solve these problems. Just because a group of people, people are like, well, your alternatives, just because you have money, the villagers don't have money. I'm well aware of what the villagers have. I live here, so I'm well aware of what they have and what they don't have, right? And when you talk about an alternative, I didn't put a dollar figure or a city figure on an alternative. I just said an alternative. The alternative may be less costly than what they're doing now. But if we don't try and we just continue to go down the same road that we've been going down for hundreds of thousands of years, then we're going to continue to have these same problems. And each generation is going to have the same problem. So what I'm saying is that we have to begin thinking, and we have to think our way out of this mess, because a lot of it can be changed. We have all the resources in the world, and we need to think about how can we better use these resources so that we can lift ourselves up to a higher standard of living. And that's all I'm saying, is that, yes, we have problems, and let's begin to solve these problems and not just ignore these problems and come up with this old excuse that it's okay because they've been doing it for so long. It's not okay. What they're doing is not good. And I say we begin to change our thinking, while at the same time we continue to allow people to make a living and earn a living. But we try and move into a new paradigm shift so that they can earn a living doing something else that's more sustainable, it's better for the environment, and it's healthier for everybody involved, all the stakeholders, right? Because when you're doing something like that, you have to consider everybody. You can't just say, oh, this is how we do. No, it affects everybody. So you have a lot of stakeholders. Okay? So anyway, just wanted to bring that to you right quick. And if you like what we're talking about, hit that subscribe button, comment, share, like. Let me hear your feedback. And also, you can follow me on Facebook at facebook.com/Eric McNeil is free. Okay? And as always, hoorah, ahuru. Now be free.